Hello and welcome to another episode from the water's edge. Today you catch up with us on another sea fishing session. Today we're down in Essex. We're at Bradwell-on-Sea fishing the Thames Estuary. We're out on Phil White's boat, the Chinook III, and if you follow our channel you'll realise you've been out of Phil a few times now doing a number of different things. We're now at the start of April and now is a great time to come out of him and target the skate. Now the skate is known as the Thornback and it's also known as the Roker in different parts of the country, but that's what we're hopefully going to be targeting. That's the aim of the session anyway. We've literally been out here, we've just put the anchor down and we're now starting to get the rods out and get a nice bit of scent working in the water. I'm just baiting this one up now. We've got a mixture of baits with us. We've got a bit of herring, bit of squid, anything fishy really to target these fish. We'll see if we can't put a few on camera for you. We've got 3 of us on board today. We've got Steve who's behind the camera. We've got his dad, Chris, and we've obviously got Phil himself. So hopefully we'll have a good day, catch a few fish. We'll talk to you a little bit more as we get into the session, reference the rigs we're using and sort of, you know, how we're going about targeting them. But I think for now, as I said, it's sort of key that we get the scent work, and while this tide is running, we'll get the scent trail working, get the smells going through the water and hopefully draw a few fish up tide and around our baited rigs. But I'm just going to get this one out. Nothing, you ain't got to cast too far, it's just to sort of get it away from the boat a little bit. Obviously there's a little bit of noise when the boat is lapping and I don't think we haven't got a massive depth of water, so it just pays just to sort of fan the rods out, just let it have a little bit of line, a couple of turns of the handle just to tighten down to it. But that one's ready to go. We've got a lovely day, sea's nice and calm. It's a little bit misty, but you never know, we might get a little bit of sun breaking through as the day goes on. But most importantly, and fingers crossed, we might pick up a few fish for you. Well, we're into the first fish of the session, not taking long at all. Literally we just put them rods out, and as Phil sort of suggested, just takes a little while, get that scent working, get a bit of a trail going through the water there in the tide. That's squid and herring, and they're soon homed in on it. It's going well. I certainly feels plenty of weight to this one, whether I'm just making a meal of it or not. It's been a while since we've been out here and since we've been connected to fish like this, but just hit the surface now, so I'm going to back up a little bit and we'll let Phil come in and get it with the net. Well, there we go, first one of the day, and that's a great way to start. Real thick fish, and I think it's probably deceptive water that way. What do you reckon, Phil? It's got to be pushing. It's got, it's got to be pushing 10 pound. Really thick set fish, and you can see all the spines on her, and that is a fantastic way to start the day, and hopefully it's going to be the first of a few. But we won't keep very much longer. We'll get it back and get another bait in the water. Well, the same rod is away again. Can't remember what we put on this one. It's either another bit of squid or a bit of herring, but a real positive pull down. Literally, it's been out there probably, I don't know, 2 to 3 minutes, I guess. And it's away again. Chris, Steve's dad, he's also had a fish. He's been in on the action already. Seems like it's kicking off. It's a job to keep an eye on what rod is going. He's coming in now. There you go. Pretty little male fish. You'll see that there by the claspers, as they're called. But you'll see, interesting with this one as well, he's actually taken the the herring head. I don't know if you can see that just in there. Really powerful jaws on him. I feel him sort of grinding. Yeah, that's a lovely fish. We'll get the hook out, get him back, and then get another bait in the water.
Well, as many of you know if you follow our channel, Chris is always about doing something, pottering about and missing stuff, so I've jumped out from behind the camera. As you can probably see, Dad's in next to me as well, so it is all go at the minute. I've watched a lot of fish come on board from behind the camera. It's nice to be attached to one myself. I don't get to do too much of the sea fishing and stuff. It's mostly coarse fishing for me, but first bonus is not being seasick. Second bonus is getting attached to a fish. So they certainly do put up a fight. I was giving Chris a bit of grief behind the camera earlier because he does make them look hard, doesn't he? Let's be honest, but they do pull back, I must admit. So I don't know how you. Is yours coming close, Dad? Or?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, mine is as well. We might have a double shot to show you. There's mine. Yeah, I'm going to be first, Phil.
Okay, just want to step back up, mate, if you can.
I'll just step round here for you.
That's it, that will do you now.
Right, so there we are. There's the two fish that you've seen a double hook up. Now, Phil, for a sea fishing novice, this is quite good for us because we've got a male and a female here. So obviously, it's quite apparent and different.
Yep,
but
that's right.
You were saying earlier as well, the spines is different. So there's more spines normally on females?
Generally, the females have a lot more spines on them, and sometimes they're absolutely covered in them. You can't even pick them up. There's so many spines on them. She's not too bad.
She's not too bad.
You can see the ones down the centre line and all the way down the tail. They all have that really prehistoric look. All these spines all the way down the centre line.
Absolutely
of the tail, right to the very end. So
you certainly wouldn't want to get spiked by one.
Top predator. You can see why nothing touches them. They're you wouldn't want to eat one of them.
And you actually said earlier when we were coming out, they're pretty hardy, aren't they? So they can take a bit of handling that. So they won't mind being held up for the camera. But certainly,
and obviously we've got the different markings as well. So you can see on their backs there. No two skates are the same, just like humans.
Oh right, okay.
All got different markings
spots
there.
in that,
Some of them have really big blotches on them. Others a lot smaller, and sometimes they're just literally just little patches every now and then.
And then obviously
all the spines are different as well. Some have a lot more than others.
Them big rubber lips there for grabbing around on the bottom with crabs, and I would say, or squid or whatever. Yeah. I guess they eat most things, do they?
Yeah. They eat fingers as well.
Oh yeah, exactly. I'll keep that one quiet then. There we are. So I've learnt a bit today. I've caught myself a sea fish, and we'll get back behind the camera and I'll let Chris get on with it again. But cheers, Phil.
Excellent.
We'll get him back.
Yep, super job. Oh, we've got the egg. That's a good shot. We've got the egg on there, this one. Yeah, I think so. I think I just saw it there.
There we go. Another really nice female thornback. Really pretty markings. Quite a dark fish on that one. But one thing I will show you, really quite interesting. So I don't know if you'll see there on camera, you'll actually just see the egg coming out like we mentioned. But what's good, we always put the females back. These are the breeding fish. So we look after these, put them back, and then it means they'll be here next year and the year after, and hopefully for a long time to come, so we can come out and keep enjoying sport like we're having today. We'll get it back and get another bait ready. Well, so after a really hectic morning period, we've had a bit of a move now. Basically, we're now pretty much at slack water, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're waiting for the tide to turn and for it to start flooding. And so we've come to a slightly different spot, Phil.
So we're still in the Wallet Spitway. And we just got the turbines behind us there, so we're on the edge of the Gunfleet Sands as well. So it's a familiar area for us.
Yeah.
Quite often we come in for low water, and the first of the flood, that's usually the best time for here.
And what sort of depth have we got here?
It's about
Similar to where we
45
were?
foot. Yeah, so it's fairly similar sort of ground, very muddy bottom. So we're just on the edge of the sands now, whereas the first spot we were sort of more on sort of flatter ground. We just come up onto the edge of the bank here this time.
And this is hopefully where the skate and stuff are. They're hunting out all the food and whatnot on the bottom.
Lots of crabs for them, whelks, and all the stuff down there for them in the mud. Yeah.
Pretty much have a go at anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a really action-packed morning. Is that pretty much how the sort of season's been for you?
Been very good so far, yeah. Lots of skate, really good.
Nice mixture of sizes and
all sorts of sizes. So you've got the males and the females there, and obviously this time of year now they're coming in short to spawn and mate, which is this is the time of year for the mate pool.
I know we did show you earlier on camera, but a few of the fish we've had today, the females had the eggs there pretty much, ready to pop, and I guess that's a good sign. That's everything working, and I know it's a good thing. Not that got anything against taking a few fish. I mean, we took a few of the male fish today, but I know you're a big believer in catch and release of the females because it keeps it it all going, doesn't it?
The females go back.
Do everything we can to sort of keep it for future generations and stuff. But I'm going to ask you, mate, the codfish, the cod fishing season, or the cod fishing season, that's not happened.
It's not happening at all. Not just for us. They're not anywhere at all. So they just really haven't migrated this year. None of us really know why. Probably water temperature. There has been a trend of the winters, the sea temperatures.
It's gradually getting warmer.
Getting a little bit warmer than what they used to be, and that's probably why they're just not migrating at the moment.
Yeah.
We keep it all crossed.
It's a strange thing. Tiny differences, I think, more than probably we ever know, can make such a difference to their, migration routes or anything like that. And it's all a mystery. You just got your fingers crossed that perhaps they're back next autumn or whatever. But I'm not complaining today anyway. It's great fun to come out here again and get amongst a few skate. But I think what we're going to do is I'll show you a little bit more about the rigs and the baits and stuff we're using today. We're just now going to start putting the rods out, waiting for that tide to turn, and hopefully enjoy a bit more action this afternoon.
Yeah, hopefully we just need to get a bit more tide running now, so we're just swinging around in the wind at the moment. But once that tide starts to run, everything all starts feeding again, the whole food chain starts to work again.
That's like
everything in its little burrows, and they all start coming out, and then that gets the fish feeding, and the whole food chain starts from the bottom upwards.
Yeah, and it's like what you're saying, real key to get that scent working. And I know you say you're very keen to get us to have a freshen up with the baits and
all the time. Yeah. A lot of the anglers come down. They think the fish can see the baits, but round here in this murky water in Thames Estuary, it's totally down to scent fishing. We catch mackerel in the summer when the water's clear, but vast majority of the time we're in coloured water, and so we've got to get that scent going.
Nice
every 10 to
baits.
15 minutes, have it in and change it, and then get it back out there again. Nice fresh bait.
Yeah, righty. I think we'll get cracking, get rebaited, and
get the kettle on.
Yes, we'll have a few more. Cheers, Phil.
Right.
Well, literally, the bit of squid I put out has just gone. Real nice, positive bite. And I think that's the thing, when you ain't got a lot of tide running, it transmits a lot more through your rod tip and through the fight. But he's coming up now. The line's just caught round him. I'll probably be able to just lift him in. Nice little male again. But there we go, that didn't take long in the new spot. And that's one thing, Phil, whenever we come out you seem to be able to put us on the fish. But yeah, nice little male. Cracking. Right, we'll just give you a little look at the tackle and stuff we're using today to catch these skate. Very simple stuff really. Rod and reel, 18 to 25 pound class boat rod, real strong fixed spool reel on there, some 25 pound main line, And then to the business end, we've got a really simple rig, and a rig that we've used pretty much every time we've been out with Phil. And sometimes the simplest things are the best, and this is the case in the standard running ledger. We've got a zip slider on there, 8 ounces of lead. We've got a couple of buffer beads just to protect that knot really, and that comes to a nice big rolling swivel, and then a little link clip. And all this clip allows us to do, as you've probably seen already today, is when you get a fish in the boat, you can just simply unclip the trace, and there's no lead dangling around, there's nothing to get caught up. You can just take the fish out of the net, unhook it, clip it back on, and then you're ready to go. Then we've got probably a 3 foot hook length. That's probably something like 60 pound mono, something like that. The skate have got sort of real abrasive rubbing pads and really powerful jaws. So that just protects that. You don't want to be messing around with sort of, you know, 20 pound hook links, because they'll just go right through it. That then comes down to a real nice big strong hook. Bait wise today we've got 2 main baits. We've got squid and we've got some herring. Now you can catch them on all manner of fish baits. You know, I'll take mackerel, bluey, crab, all sorts. But the 2 we've got today, squid and herring. Now there's a couple of different ways how we're fishing the herring to start with. We're basically chunking them up, so using like little inch sections, and all we're doing is just hooking them through the sort of the softer belly piece. And the reason for that is because that's where all the guts are. So if you hooked it through the meaty bit, you cast out, the guts are just going to wash straight out. Whereas if you actually put the hook through them, you're going to keep a lot of that smell and stuff in there. Another real neat little trick that Phil has sort of showed us today is to actually use the head of the fish. Now a lot of the time you'll probably cut the herring up and the heads would get discarded over the side, but because you've got all the gills and stuff in there, it's a really bloody bait, and that will constantly leak out attraction all the time it's fishing for you. So there's a couple of different ways we're doing the herring. Now with the squid, it's really simple stuff. All we're doing is just weaving it on. And with both baits, herring or squid, it's vital that you leave lots of hook points showing. Anything comes in and grab that, it's gonna get hooked. So that's what we're using. Nothing complicated at all, but it's certainly been very effective today. All we're doing then, before we cast it out, you got your lead, you just hook that on there. With using a long hook length, you don't want that, you know, the hook dangling in the boat, so nick it on like so, and that one's ready to go. So we'll get that out there now. We've started to get the rods out round the boat, get that scent working, get a nice trail going through the water. All them blood and juices from the baits are what the fish are going to home in on. So just let that sink. Pay off a little bit of extra line just to let that lead grip in, and yeah, we're ready to go. A couple of turns of the handle, just tighten down to it, and we'll pop that in the rest. And yeah, we're fishing away. Fingers crossed. Sun look like it's now going to break through, so hopefully we'll be in for a good afternoon and be able to show you a few more fish on camera. And I think, as I say that, Chris is hooked up behind you. You got one, Chris?
Yeah, just one on there.
Yeah? I'll come round. I'll get the net for you.
Yeah,
Feel a nice one, mate?
Yeah, it's got a lovely bend in the rod, Chris. Ooh, there we go. I think that's the size that's hooked.
Well, Phil, that's not taking long at all.
No, there's a bit more going on the tide now, Chris. That's just picked up, and that's just starting to get the feed again now.
I feel like it's got a bit of weight. Oh, there we go. That's got a bit of weight to it, Chris.
Certainly, look like it's going well, mate. Sun's out for you as well, Chris.
Sun always shines on the righteous.
That beats a day at work anyway.
True. That's nice fish, Chris.
Coming in, it does, mate. Looks a nice one. I'll net it for you.
Now on the surface.
Just caught around that line a little bit. It probably makes it a little bit more difficult to bring it in, but a nice fish, mate, all the same. Just guide him in. Chris?
Oh, look at that. Biggest
Lovely
one
one,
of the day.
isn't it?
Biggest one of the day so far, isn't it?
she's absolutely covered in spines.
Yeah.
I can feel them, with gripping in my fingers. But another interesting thing, if I can just bring him round to, is you'll see that mud on there again.
Yeah, okay,
like Phil said, the area of ground we're fishing, very muddy bottom, and that's obviously being flat like they are, that's where they hug that and hunting out for all the food.
I think it's about 10-1 to me, isn't it?
But yeah, lovely fish.
Let's get it back.
We'll get it back.
So it's come round to me again. I've been allowed another go on the rod after the move, and I'm attached to what feels like a fairly decent fish. It's always hard to know because when the tide runs, it's like sometimes reeling a bag because there's such a large surface area pulling against it. They really do feel big, but there's certainly a lot of weight there. He's kicking away. Luckily the others are watching to inform me a bite, because I missed it. I was looking at one of the others. That one's now going as well if anyone else is free. So it's starting to kick off. One on. It looks possibly like there's a bite on the other one, but we've had a few double hookups today. We have another one now. Spot on, right on cue. Doesn't always work like that, does it? But they certainly are feeding. That just takes that few minutes to get the scent trail working, and then they're there. Getting there now, Phil. Everyone coming to the net.
Well, it's turned into absolute carnage. Just as we were saying we had a double hookup, the third rod's gone. Phil's just got that. We've got another one on here, and Chris in the background is fighting fish number 5. I'll show him to you down here.
They're all alive and they're all going back.
They're all alive, and it's absolutely crazy fishing. I'll just I'll turn around, I'll show you Chris. He's fighting another one. There's 4 there.
We run out of crew members. Well, there we have it. There's the 5 from the most hectic moment I've ever had on a boat. I was in, then the double hookup, the treble hookup, 4 and 5, an absolute shed full. So that's we're going to put all these fellas back, and we've got a lot of rebaiting to do. I'm going to get back behind that camera, but what a mental couple of minutes. I mean, this is too much hard work. So let's get them back. Righto.
Well, I think we're into, well, whatever number skate it is of the day, I do not know, but I think this one we're probably gonna call the last fish and head back in. That wind's picked up ever so slightly, and we're starting to lose the tide, so I think we'll probably call this one the last one, and then head back in. That mist has cleared away now, the sun's come out, it's burnt all that off, and it really is lovely out here, and we are now catching rays in more than one way. This one's coming up, just pump and wind. Again, they're using all the power, but it has been a truly fantastic day. We've had fish from the off, to be honest with you. We had a small period of inactivity, which was when we were waiting for the tide to turn, but other than that, it has been absolutely full on. We've had treble hookups, we've had double hookups, treble hookups, we've had 4, 5 fish in the boat at the same time. It has been crazy. Well, there we go. What an absolute cracker to end on. Nice big female fish, fit and healthy, and a fantastic way to end the day. I'd just like to thank Phil ever so much for bringing us out, as always, putting us on the fish. As I say, I don't know how many we've had, but it's been an absolutely fantastic day's sport. What I'll do is, as always, I'll put Phil's details in the description, and I'll pop it below. So if anyone would like to come out here and sample some of the excellent sport the Thames Estuary has to offer, then they can give him a call. But I'm going to pop this one back, and I'd like to say, as always, thanks for watching, be lucky, and we'll see you again on the next one.